Hello and welcome back to the Warwick F1 Show. Today we are doing our predictions for the Chinese Grand Prix back on the calendar after 5 years. The last time we went to China was the 1,000th race in F1. Max Verstappen had yet to win a world title. COVID didn't exist. Lewis Hamilton was only on five world titles. Oh no, five world titles at that point, and a whole host of other things have changed as well. But as ever, I'm joined by Callum and Will. We're going to be doing our predictions, looking at the Chinese Grand Prix as well, quickly. And I don't know about you guys. I think China's a weird one for me in that it's always been there, it's always been good, but it's never really stuck in the memory as much as other races have. I think not going there for 5 years probably hasn't helped, but even when we were there, it was never really a race that I remembered every year. But I think it's given us some quite good ones.
It's certainly, I think, in comparison to other tracks, it's kind of in the middle. I guess you could say in terms of the races that it delivers, as it's obviously not on the level that you would remember lots of different races that happened there, and it kind of, you'd say every year it delivers absolute classics, but then it's not like like Abu Dhabi's, where it's the racing there is just you can tell that they're just going there for the money or something, in the case with Abu Dhabi, rather than actually because that's a good racetrack to go to. And it's, in terms of the track layout, it's certainly got its plenty of overtaking opportunities, and as you say, it's delivered some quite entertaining races in the past, since obviously it's been after the break. I distinctly remember 2018 had quite a bit of drama and chaos, most caused by Ricciardo nailing every overtake, and then Verstappen trying and not doing that, back when he, like you said, when we were back there over 5 years ago, when he wasn't possibly as dominant that he was now. But I'd say it definitely has the potential to deliver an exciting race. Definitely in comparison to the race we just had, Japan, I'd say it has the potential to be more entertaining than that.
Yeah, I always think it's kind of one of my favourites. I never I don't think there's been a bad Chinese Grand Prix. I think there's always something interesting going on. It's always had bad weather. It's like, I think, Will, you always like to say it's always gloomy. So I think you've always got that kind of aspect that there could rain. There is always a lot of strategy involved. And I think obviously the most famous moment from the Chinese Grand Prix has got to be Lewis beaching it in 2007 in the pit lane.
Right, do you mind?
Well, it's more to it allowed Kimi to win his only ever title, which we all know he deserved. So
Yeah,
iconic moment.
Yeah,
I think
some other ones. The race in 2012 was a really good one. I think 2010, 2013, when Lewis Hamilton forgot what team he drove for, pulling into the McLaren pit garage. Yes, it was in 2012. Yeah, it was Red Bull's first ever win back in 2009 as well.
Yeah, when Christian Horner had the most horrendous hairline in the world.
It's recovered it at the moment. But yeah, we haven't been there since 2019, and it has been a long time. You think about how much has changed in the last 5 years, and it really does kind of mark that time period of, obviously we went through COVID, arguably one of the best seasons of all time in 21, and now the Verstappen dominance. And I don't think, if you look forward from 2019 to 2024, I don't think you could have predicted anything that could have happened.
I think there's been like 75 or 80 races since. Hamilton's won 32, Verstappen's won 31. Like, they're basically like the dominance is like unreal.
Yeah. No, I did see that stat. I think if Verstappen wins at China, he'll have won half of all the races going back to the 2019 Chinese Grand Prix. And
I don't know how that can be right, though.
I think it's about 100. I think it's 100 and something, 115, 120. Because we've had five seasons, essentially, if you look at it from
that's true. Must be
2019 to now. But yeah, right, we'll move on to our predictions now. Callum is subbing in for Chinmay, and he gets the first overall pick for this week. And I feel like it goes without saying, Callum, who you're going to pick. But for everyone who has Chinmay gone for, who are we going for as first place?
So Chinmay has gone for Lando Norris as first place. He hasn't. He's gone for Verstappen first place. Unsurprisingly, as he has the first pick of the draw, and yeah, what is there to say that hasn't been said? I guess Australia, even though obviously he gave problems, he had problems there with his, I think it was a brake duct failure on his right rear. I don't think it ever really convinced us at all that it was that was a problem that was going to persist for the season, and that any other driver really was going to be you were going to fancy going into a race. So yeah, Verstappen, as always, I'd say he still is in the driver's seat, if you will, to get the race win.
Yeah. Do you want to run through the rest of the top five quickly, and then we'll move on
sure. So I've so interestingly, Chinmay has gone for Alonso P2, a very bold call. Sainz P3, same as he did last week, continuing with Sainz's good run of form. Norris, he said, this, I'm being serious this time, he's actually in P4, so just missing out on a podium spot. And then Perez, possibly not continuing with as good a run of form, such as the Red Bull 1-2s that he's been having recently. He's dropped back to P5, according to Chinmay, for this Chinese Grand Prix. So yeah, Verstappen, Alonso, Sainz rounding out the podium, and then Norris and Perez P5.
All right, so I've got the second pick through. I think it's going to be first, and I've thought about this a little bit strategically. So I've gone for Leclerc P1. Will is just throwing his head back in anguish, but no, I think Ferrari. They've looked good for kind of the start of the season, and I don't see why that run kind of won't continue into this race. I think Leclerc's overdue, not a good performance, but he's overdue kind of some luck going his way, and I'm hoping, at least for the predictions wise, that this is the race for it. This is where kind of for me a little bit of the strategy has come in. I've gone for Perez P2 because ultimately I do think that's where he will finish if Red Bull do keep it together, do manage to get that 1-2 performance that they've had at I think all races bar one this season. I've got to put Verstappen in the top five to almost guarantee that point, so I put him third, and then fourth and fifth I've gone for Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris. Well, do you need more time to just quickly change all your predictions, or are you ready to go?
No, I'm good. I think so. I'm gonna be optimistic for Mercedes. I'm gonna say Lewis Hamilton's gonna win.
That's dangerous. That is very dangerous.
Honestly, if he wins, I will be the happiest human being on this planet next week. When we do our Chinese review, I'm just gonna be there'll be like balloons, party poppers, there'll be everything.
So you're predicting heavy rain then?
No, I just don't. I think he'll be fifth, but the two people that I think could win it have been taken, because I genuinely think that Leclerc has a good chance. This track, especially in the dry, reminds me a lot of Vegas, where we saw that Ferrari was really good last year. It's got those long straights. So I think I'm going to put Verstappen second.
Okay.
Which is less kind of strategic. Sainz third. Perez fourth. And Leclerc fifth. There's my order.
No, that sounds like a good top five, and obviously we've got to do our 1, 2, and 3 point predictions. So, Callum, do you want to take those first?
Yeah, sure. So For Chinmay, his 1 point prediction was that at least 4 teams will finish in the top 5. I assume that's for the proper race, not the sprint race, which I guess doesn't seem too unlikely, judging that I guess you can expect Red Bull or Ferrari to feature in there, and then you've also got McLaren and I was going to say Aston Martin, Alonso, who will be up there. For the 2-pointer, we're going to have Sauber with a double points finish, which will obviously be very, very big for them in the kind of scrap for 6th and 7th place, and also good for Zhou Guanyu at his home Grand Prix. And then the 3-point prediction is at least 4 safety cars across both races. So not too unlikely. Yeah, I could see Will's face there when he thought he meant only the Grand Prix, but no, that's across both the Grand Prix and the sprint. So yeah, that's my or Chinmay's 1, 2, and 3-point predictions.
Yeah, no, those feel fair. My 1, 2, and 3. So my 1 point is Mercedes are, and this is in technical terms, absolutely obliterated on the straights. Obviously, we'll have to. What?
You misspelt McLaren.
Mercedes, McLaren, potato at this point. But no, I think Merc, like, and it like we'll judge what it is next week. But like it's bad on the straights for Mercedes. Okay. Then I've gone for, and this is in the main race. I've gone for a 3+ car collision at turn 1. So okay. I'm thinking someone steaming up the inside, knocking someone into someone else.
Yeah,
taking some people out.
I think you might see it more towards, I think it's turn 4, that hairpin.
Okay, but well, I've said turn 1, and I'll stick there. Right, my 3-point. No Danny Kvyat to launch Norris into orbit. Right, my 3-point. With Chinmay's 2-point, I'm gonna need clarification on whether this is allowed. I've gone for double Haas points for a 3-pointer, and I'm willing to change that if we think that's a bit Mickey.
No, I will give you that on the basis that, with full clarity, that we are recording this after sprint quali, so we've seen that Sauber have been relatively okay. So.
Could you switch around the 2nd and 3rd points finish? Because I'd say that the 3+ collision in turn 1 is probably more unlikely than.
Yeah, you could do that. Well.
Yeah, all right. I'll switch those around. So the 3+ car is now the 3-point, and double Haas points as 2-point. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, nice. Right, my 1-pointer, not so much to do with any on the track action. I'm saying that, well, it's kind of on track. I'm saying that in either race, Sauber have a sub 5-second pit stop. It's unlikely in the sprint, but you never know.
Oh, so the fact you have to predict that is actually such a bad thing.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got to be optimistic. My 2-pointer is that 3+ drivers gain 5 places on the opening lap.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping for a bit of the chaos you've predicted, Will, or that it's a little bit slippy, and that's only in the main race, not sprint.
Okay.
And then my 3-pointer is that 3+ people 3-stop. I'm hoping that teams don't really know what the deg's like. It probably won't be too bad because it's been raining, or on the Friday at least it has been, and then maybe there's a little bit of rain on Sunday. Who knows? We might see a little bit more rain.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't know kind of what the deg is looking like. We only had 1 practice this morning. We did see sprint quali end up being rainy in the final part. So all of that rubber that's been put down for the 1 practice session has gone away. So really could be kind of out there in terms of what the strategy is and what people do, and that always makes for a good race, I think. When no one knows what they're doing and it kind of goes a bit crazy.
Yeah, should be fun. Nice return to a track we've not been to. Always makes it fun. A bit like going to a new race. Yeah.
So looking forward to it, and what I'm not looking forward to actually is the time I've got to wake up tomorrow morning. 4 a.m. for the sprint race, and then 8 a.m. for quali, and 8 a.m. for the race as well. Any final thoughts? Any final words about the Chinese Grand Prix? About the predictions? About anything else that you can think of?
Apart from the fact that I will not be joining you watching it at 4 a.m., I think I will probably watch it at a sensible midday the next day. But no, apart from that, no.
You're more sensible. Yeah, you're more sensible than I am. Up at it won't even be the crack of dawn. Up in the middle of the night to watch the race. But yeah, those have been our predictions for the Chinese Grand Prix. And as ever, thank you for listening.